Bold.
Cheeky.
Flashy. Gallus.
Hi. Welcome to the least formal episode of the Gallus podcast you have ever held. I have adrenaline, I have excitement now. A couple of weeks ago I had a spare 20 minutes, so I quickly threw together a WrestleMania 41 predictions edition of the show. Well, it's time for the companion video to that because I've got a spare 20 minutes. It's time for a very brief WrestleMania 40 review. It's just me. I considered getting a guest for this to talk about wrestling for about an hour, but I don't have the time for that nowadays. I'm a very, very busy individual with everything I need to done, considering this is a bonus episode. It's not part of the usual monthly editions of the film and TV. But hey, it's WrestleMania. All rules go out the window. So WrestleMania 40 was 10 out of 10. It has got to be considered one of the best wrestling weekends I've ever bore witness to. Right before WrestleMania Night 1 this year, I watched the show. I'm in the house on the network with best mate of mine, Daniel Murdoch. We've loved wrestling since we were 5 years old, and for the past couple of years we have religiously watched almost every pay-per-view that the WWE's produced live. The first Mania we watched together would have been 38 with that wonderful chaos. The second being 39 with that wonderful chaos, and my god, they only went and added to the wonderful chaos this year. What a superb bit of wrestling. Before the show starts, I turn to him and I say, you know what, this might be the best professional wrestling has ever been in my lifetime. It might be the biggest, the most I can say I am a fan of wrestling in my life, and these two shows went on to, well, cement that. You just couldn't make up what happened on these shows. Essentially, I'm just going to read through the match card and talk about each match for about a minute each, 2 minutes each, and then wrap this podcast up because I felt like I needed to make this to complete, and also I want to talk wrestling more. But because I will not shut up, but I need to basically record and release this within the next 30 minutes. So WrestleMania Night 1 opened with Triple H coming down to the ring and doing the most simple, are you ready? Because it's time for a new era. And my god, if there was ever to be a professional wrestling show to cement a new era, WrestleMania 41, WrestleMania XL, paid homage to the past and set up the future in the most beautiful way possible. I was so hyped for this show when it kicks off. It had a Meat Mill's little package. Don't know who he is. All power to him. Finish the story. Come on, Cody. There's a sign in the front row that says Belmont, which made me laugh. There was Macho Man Randy Savage in the front row. It was just a lot of fun. You had your Pat McAfee, your Corey Graves, and your Michael Cole on commentary. You're ready for a good time. The stage design for WrestleMania, I could not get enough of. And the show opens on Becky Lynch, who has a book, coming down to the ring. She's ill. It's really cold. It was 50 degrees, but it felt like 46, as Michael Cole stressed over and over again, and we found this absolutely hilarious through the entire show. Rhea Ripley enters with her theme being sung, and it sounded almost like it wasn't. Rhea Ripley, fresh from a panic attack, which is insane. Becky ill, somehow go on to put on a 20-minute pretty damn fun match. It took 10 minutes to kind of get where it was going, but when it started to hit, this match started to hit, and it was overall really good. Rhea did a riptide into the corner, and then a riptide in the middle of the ring for the win, retaining her title. I thought she was losing. I really thought she was losing. So I bought into a lot of the near falls here, and Rhea would go on to successfully become a year-long women's champion as she held it from Mania to Mania. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The tag team ladder match was next because damn yes. Pretty Deadly had a video package introducing every single one of the teams, which has got to be one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller enter. Nice. The Awesome Truth enter. Nice. DIY enter pretending to be DX. the New Day enter. They were not winning this match. The New Catch Republic come out to DIY's entrance strong, which was quite funny, and then the other side kicks in. One of the best wrestling teams in the game at the moment. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, your tag champions, walked into the ring with some pretty cool gear on, and this match was a lot of fun. I believe very firmly it had the wrong winners. I think Theory, Waller, Truth and The Miz should have been nowhere near the titles. This match should have went to DIY and the New Catch Republic to basically re-cement tag wrestling, but it went for the other route because Truth is apparently all over. Don't see it. Like 7 minutes in, Theory and Waller just won the SmackDown tag titles, and I got a kick out of the way they just ran up and took the belts. Like, yeah, absolutely. And then Grayson Waller gets powerbombed through a ladder by Pete Dunne, I believe, but he's still holding his title. Very funny visual. And then it's the Raw tag title ladder match, which was batshit mental. And JD McDonough died. Ciampa did a air raid crash, and I believe Tyler Bate died. Gargano did a like DDT and practically ruined Pete Dunne to the outside through a table, which you can't really comment on. That was brilliant. And then just as you think Damian Priest and Balor are going to retain their titles, in comes R-Truth and The Miz. The ladder breaks, they get a new ladder, and R-Truth becomes champion. Really good match. Just had the wrong winners. Like, you could have took it seriously, but they went for the bits, and the bits I'm sure will do them well. But let's get the tag belts onto some serious teams now, please. I would quite like that. Up next, you got one of the weirder matches of the show. Andrade and Rey Mysterio, who entered together, battled Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar, who entered together. Why? Why did these four incredibly talented wrestlers have to enter together? That really just made me think, I'm not going to get the dream match that I really wanted. Andrade being a last minute replacement for Dragon Lee, who got attacked. Lol. You've got literally the LWO came out with Carlito Del Toro, Joaquin Wilde and Zelina Vega, and Dominic and Santos came out with Angel Berto and Electro Lopez, and you just think, it's a shame, innit? Andrade didn't even get a singles entrance, didn't get his theme, just got his cool mask. Although immediately Andrade began to steal the show. He and Dom just being stiff as horses, dives to the outside. These guys had 10 minutes and they made the most of their 10 minutes, but what at no point they chose to do was have Santos Escobar and Andrade interact, which made me really sad, because I really wanted to see those two interact. Can you imagine the suicide dives? And Joaquin Wilde would get to do his big yeet thing where he would dive like 50 feet. That was very exciting. The match was actually really, really good. The ending wasn't, however, as two masked luchadors jumped the barricade, lay out Dom, lay out Santos. Rey hits a splash, Andrade hits his twisty whoopee Angelo Dawkins finisher thing, of which his name I've forgotten, and then they just won. Who are these big luchadors? Don't know. Two random footballers. Why are they mates with Rey Mysterio? Don't know. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna revel in the chaos that is WrestleMania, because that's what we have to do sometimes. Up next was sad. Like, it was Jay versus Jimmy. Jimmy's team's really good. I'll give him that. Jey Uso and Lil Wayne were there. Lil Wayne added nothing to Jey Uso's character, eat, and so on and so forth. I kid you not, this match was 16 super kicks. And that was it. 16 super kicks and Jey Uso won. There was glimmers of potential in this when they just started brawling right off the bat. But like, why? This could have stole the show. I believe these two had the in-ring talent to steal the show, but instead they went for a weird thing, a weird bet, and it was sad. It was 10 minutes long. It was 16 super kicks and a Jey Uso win. I actually have nothing else to say other than this match made me a bit sad that it wasn't as good as it could have been. 6-woman tag team match next. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill and Naomi got a godlike entrance. I kid you not, godlike. Each getting their own time to shine before they walked into the ring. Bianca Belair remaining undefeated at WrestleMania as they would defeat Damage Control's Asuka, Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane. Really entertaining match this for however short it was. I think it was like somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Top-notch stuff. Some good sequences, some good interactions, and then the guy gets pinned by Jade Cargill. You weren't really expecting anything else. I wasn't really expecting anything else, so I'm not going to complain about what I got. Now, next is when the show went from being alright, pretty good, to next level. Sami Zayn versus Gunther. Now, the Rocky storyline that they'd been telling was perfection. And I could not care about Sami Zayn dethroning Gunther. Sami Zayn is, and always has been, one of my favourite wrestlers. But the past, 10 months, since Mania last year, he's almost lost me. I stopped believing in Sami Zayn. I got quite bored of his tag title reign. He became annoying. He just keeps losing. But the Rocky build-up. Alright, I didn't watch Raw, but, I picked up on it from social media. I thought this looks really promising. This is a good, fun direction. But my God, did they win me around immediately with this. Zayn walks out, talks to his wife, talks to his kids, tells his kid to go to the back. His wife goes to ringside, bumps into Chad Gable, who's in a suit, and he said, "No, you're going to go out there yourself." Sami hypes himself up, he paces through Gorilla, and right as he gets to the curtain, he's confronted by Kevin Owens. And the bittersweet, just slap, hug, psych up, Zayn enters, amazing underdog entrance, and Gunther comes out like a god. Just something special, this match. Something pure and different and engaging. They just went straight in with the big moves and the power moves, and the Sami Zayn is going to be killed. Like, literally, I think you're at the 10-minute mark, and Gunther has hit Sami Zayn with so much offense. Zayn is nothing. He's a shell of a man. He's been thrown around and ragdolled. But he doesn't give up. That's Sami Zayn's way. He doesn't give up. Some of the spots and sequences in this match are top tier. I would highly... This is one of 3 matches I would recommend you 100% go out of your way to seek. Zayn and Gunther just said, we are stealing the weekend in terms of in-ring work. Gunther slaps this boy about, and Zayn just fights back. He psychs himself up, he Hogans himself up. Gunther drops some power bombs, boots, chops, splashes, and he keeps getting out of it. But it builds, and it builds, and it builds in the most bittersweet way possible to Sami Zayn nailing Gunther with the top rope brainbuster, and me having an out-of-body experience as I had been building my love and anticipation for Zayn winning. I didn't want him to win going in. I thought it should have been Gable, but no, I began to root for Zayn right here. I began to root for Zayn. Halluva kick. 1, 2, 3. New champion. As it should be. The best wrestler in the WWE, Sami Zayn, takes the Intercontinental title. He celebrates as a champion. What a moment. Sami Zayn's one of the best in the world. But main event time. Out come Cody and Seth. Cool. That's nice. Then out comes The Rock, the final boss, who gets the best entrance in wrestling history, I reckon. The final boss engaged. His new theme, his aura, his charisma, his just character is peak wrestling. This man comes down to the ring with the People's title and white tight trousers, and I was really hoping he wrestled in them because they looked sick. Especially when he took his little coat off. He's got the shades. He's in a like Brahma bull of fire. Roman enters, absolute badass. Dwayne takes him off, he's in little trunks. And these 4 lads go 44 minutes and put on one of the most entertaining main events I have ever seen. Second longest main event in history. I was on the edge of my seat for the majority of it, just constantly getting excited by every little thing. And then the match ended when The Rock bottomed Cody Rhodes. People's elbowed him, and they won. It's Bloodline Rules tomorrow. It's Bloodline Rules on Sunday, Cody Roman. But The Rock just pinned Cody in the main event of WrestleMania 40. That's insane that happened. Could not wait for Bloodline Rules anymore. It's a bordering perfect show with exception to the Uso fight, which just makes me sad. Night 2 was as much, if not way more fun. It was way more fun. It was so fun. This is up there for the most fun I've had watching a wrestling show ever. It had a good mix of blood feuds, dumb nonsense, and great angles. I've not really brought up that every match has been sponsored by something ridiculous like Dude Wipes or Slim Jim, but doesn't seem like a good use of my time. This show opens with, what was it, War and Treaty doing the American national anthem, and myself and Daniel could not care less. It's got Stephanie McMahon that comes out making her return to the company, Style and Grace. She's got a slightly better version, a rockier version of her theme, like a bit more sufferable. And she basically says it's a new era, the Paul Levesque era. Are you ready? Nice. And then bagpipes. Drew McIntyre comes down to the ring ready to squash Seth Rollins. Now, I had predicted that Drew would squash Seth in under 3 minutes and then lose to Damian Priest because he got attacked by Punk. Punk's on commentary, of course. Seth enters in a very funny entrance with a legit carnival of goofballs cutting about with him. Drew nails Claymore immediately for a 2 count, and I, again, outer body experience. This match was so much fun watching Drew ragdoll Seth, but take a decent amount of punishment. Curb Stomp on the announce desk was pretty fun, but then Drew wins the world title, and myself and Daniel are very, very, very happy. Because our Scottish boy is going to go into the Scottish Show world champion unless... Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. He celebrates, he cries about finally winning that world title in front of fans, which is just special. He hugs his wife, he goes over, he taunts CM Punk, tells him to get the picture. Punk snaps, attacks him, beats him up with the arm brace, which leads to the other side playing. Damian Priest running down to the ring, cashing in Money in the Bank, nailing South of Heaven and pinning Drew McIntyre to win the world title. What a moment. What an opening to WrestleMania. Really good match between Drew and Seth, and a dead fun ending with Damian Priest and Punk involved. Drew McIntyre will always be my favourite in the WWE because of Scotland, and he's also really funny, and he's also really talented, but Damian Priest is my other favourite. Priest and Zayn, that's my boys, Priest, Zayn and Drew. And to see both Priest and Drew as world champion on the same show is special, knowing that in the main event of Clash at the Castle I will almost definitely see Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre for the world strap. Literally cannot wait. Up next you had probably the funniest match of this show, the 6-man tag team Philadelphia street fight, which had Snoop Dogg on commentary for reasons of which I don't understand, but he was high as hell and funny as fuck, which is a good rhyme. And a special referee of Bubba Ray Dudley because Philadelphia street fight. The final testament enter of Akam, Cross, Razar, Scarlett and Paul Ellering. Nice. Dawkins, Lashley and Full Pinter. Nice. And then they just beat each other up with kendo sticks for a while. There's a table spot and the Pride win of Angelo Dawkins, Bobby Lashley and Montez Ford. No comments. It was really fun. It was quite good, you know. Did what it wanted to do. LA Knight battled AJ Styles in a really, really engaging match. I was really looking forward to this, and I'm rightly so. It was good. LA Knight over, AJ Styles looking good. And Knight wins clean in his first WrestleMania. No complaints. The United States title triple threat saw Owens and Orton enter together, which was quite funny, on a little go-kart. And then Logan Paul enter on a Prime float on top of a car with the Prime bottle for the US title. Prime logo, of course, being in the middle of the ring. They basically spend the opening of the match just beating up Logan Paul. Then Logan Paul has a double buckshot, which is dead amusing. Owens and Zayn start fighting, and it becomes a really, really good triple threat match with some really creative spots and some really creative counters to things when things went wrong. Like a top rope move, Owens went for him, Paul slipped, and Owens turned it into a cool power slam-esque thing from the top rope. But the highlight of this match is, of course, when Randy Orton is about to pin Logan Paul, but some Prime bottle pulls Logan Paul up out of the ring, and then Randy Orton kicks him. It's revealed to be iShow Speed, apparently a famous YouTuber. Never heard of him. Daniel reacted quite a lot to this. He started barking at Randy Orton then barked at him and RKO'd him on the announce table. Logan Paul would hit Brass Knucks, and Logan Paul retained his title with a frog splash, which I'm pretty sure he reached heaven in, pinning Kevin Owens, ending the storyline with Owens sent up at the Rumble. And this match was really good. But your best in-ring match in terms of just insane wrestling sequences was Bayley Io Sky. Bayley gets her entrance, it was pretty alright, pretty funny, Egyptian and all that, Aztec-y. No Paramore, which made me sad. Io Sky came out, no Poppy, which made me sad. but also no damage control. And they just had an absolute barn burner, 5-star match. Honestly, so entertaining. They were tonight's edition of the Gunther Sami. So Gunther Sami had the wrestling match and then the sports entertainment main event with The Rock. This is the wrestling match on this show and then the sports entertainment main event with Bloodline Rhodes. Holy God, Io Sky is good. And Bayley showed up to work, and Bayley showed up so much to work that she coincidentally went on and won the women's world title. Well, the women's title. Very good match, but this is all about the main event, this show. Video package that had footage of AEW, cannot complain. Video package that had just absurd levels of fun detail. The song, you always know you're in for a good video package when you see Imagine Dragons appear, and this video package has Imagine Dragons. Cody gets a I Am Captain America like pre-entrance with Brandy. You know he's winning the world title. Wrestling has more than one royal family. It looked like he entered from a battlefield. Biggest woe ever. Roman has a live choir harmony orchestra playing him to the ring, and it was godlike but special as you began to think maybe Roman will drop the title here, because I think he is going to. Bloodline rules. The first 20 minutes of this match were very fun. They basically just picked up where they left off last year. None of this stalling nonsense. Roman hits a crossroad on Cody, but Cody kicks out and Roman's like, hate that move. Never going to beat anyone. Very good fun. Roman did a lot of character work in this match. But the bit is when Jimmy Uso attacks Cody right as Cody hits a crossroads and could look to win. And then Jey Uso comes out, and then Jey Uso spears him off of the ramp. As Endgame begins, Solo rocks up and actually presents himself as an absolute badass, running roughshod on Cody. They play off last year, he hits the spike. They hit the spike spear, but Cody is able to kick out. Just amazing work being done here. And then who can come out to stop Solo? John Cena making his return, having not been seen since Solo took him out. Cena is, Lariat Solo over the top rope, is Roman, is Solo through the announce table, which is when you get The Rock. The Rock comes down to the ring, faces off with John Cena. Yes, please. Love that this happened. Love that the match just stopped and stuff just happened. The Rock bottoms John Cena, starts taunting him for a while, and is not interrupted by the glass that we all thought we were going to get, but instead interrupted by the music of The Shield, which is when I had my second WrestleMania out-of-body experience, thinking, oh my God, what if it is Mox for one-off? Though it's Rollins in the Shield gear with a chair, but Roman immediately comes in and says, nah. Superman punches him, lays him out. The Rock talks a bit more trash, and it wasn't the glass that shattered. It was something that caught everyone by surprise when the gong sounds and the Undertaker appears in the ring, chokeslams The Rock. At this point, me and Daniel are in cloud 9 of they actually did Endgame. They actually did WWE Endgame. They actually did it. They actually did it. We were so happy. And then Roman and Cody come to. Roman picks up the chair as Seth pulls himself up, leaning into the ropes. Roman isn't over the Shield breakup. He chooses to hit Seth in the back with that chair, and it only went to cost him his 1,300 day championship reign as Cody reverses a spear into 3 crossroads and ends the Roman's title reign. I was in 3rd year when Roman Reigns was won his world championship. I didn't know Ren when Roman Reigns won his world championship. My GM wasn't in the 2K games when Roman Reigns won his world championship. Cody Rhodes wasn't employed to the company when Roman Reigns won his world championship. All of these things are insane. But it was over. Cody had done it after WWE Endgame. You get the highlight package. Cody celebrates. Mama Rhodes is there. Immediately the first person into the ring was Sami Zayn hugging Cody, which was perfect. As Jey Uso runs in, Randy Orton, John Cena pulls himself to, all of the babyface, LA Knight, they are all here, Kevin Owens, to celebrate Cody. Seth Pull is helped up into the ring by everyone. CM Punk is brought out, which means there is a visual of Randy Orton, CM Punk, John Cena in the ring at the same time at WrestleMania with Cody as WWE champion on their shoulders, which is just brilliant. Triple H is called out, Bruce Pritchard, just a special moment. Cody cuts a promo and says, "This is the new era. I want to thank all these people." And the show ends in the most special way possible. So yeah, that was my very quick review of WrestleMania 40, the greatest 2 nights of wrestling I have ever been a part of, and I love wrestling at the moment. That's really the takeaway. It can't get any better. It actually can't get any better. If you want to hear me talk about wrestling more, come and find me in the streets, send me texts, I'll respond and I'll talk all day, because this show was perfect, and I would not have changed a single thing except for making the Usos have a good match. But also the fact it was just 15 super kicks was funny. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Gallus Podcast. I've been Ryan Robertson. Check out our stuff in the link tree in the episode descriptor, and just hope you enjoyed WrestleMania.